I'm about to leave for Kwazulu-Natal, where I will experience the beauty of Zulu culture and music. But before I go, I've been advised to meet a Zulu Sangoma or traditional healer. Join me, Pops Mohamed, as I journey across South Africa to explore and engage with the sacred music with a wide variety of our indigenous and universal traditions. In the last episode, I visited the Eastern Cape to visit the Ngoko people who do powerful overtone chanting, and then on to Nan Hua, the largest Buddhist temple in Africa. So, on my way south, I'm going to stop in at the center of traditional medicine, the Mai Mai market, in the heart of the city of Joburg. I meet Kuzulini Sitole, a Zulu cultural activist, who shows me around Mai Mai. There are hundreds of different indigenous-based medicines for every ailment, as well as a variety of cultural items. Some of these plants definitely look as if they have mystical powers. It's quite ironic that the Sangoma I'm planning to meet is based in this urban context. But in South Africa today, it's fairly common that traditional lifestyles are integrated into city life, where at one time they were found only in the rural villages. Blessings are part and parcel of many cultures. So when one undertakes a journey or performs an important task, seeking the blessings of divine elders is key to ensure the success of any venture. Kuzulini introduces me to Umama Dabula Manzi Majola, and I follow the protocol in greeting her by clapping my hands and going down onto my knees, and she responds. Marcos. I'm going on a journey to Kwazulu-Natal. I asked for a blessing for this particular journey, as well as for the mysteries of sound that I may uncover throughout this sacred undertaking. Marcos. It is then that she throws the bones in order to divine my path. A core part of African spirituality is based on a relationship with one's ancestors, who are there to guide us in our lives from the higher realms. The Sangoma, or the diviner, plays a pivotal role in interceding between the human world and the divine. And according to her, it seems that my journey will be fortunate.
Athamakhosi lokho ekutshene khona ukwenze khona into zakho izolunga ubinhlanhla lapha eniyakhona ndotola inhlanhla makhosi uhambe kahle mntanami
Siyabonga. Bone throwing is one way of accessing the spirit world. But as I understand, Dabula Manzi also draws my ancestors to me through a drum beat and a rhythmical chant. This speaks directly to the soul and expresses the idea that we are all part of one beat, one rhythm. According to Dabula Manzi, they are intended to stay with me while I travel on my journey. rich Zulu history seems to harmonize together, making the narrative of the Zulus seem very real to me. I meet Zulu contemporary musician Madala Kunene deep in the cultural heartland of Kwazulu-Natal. Madala Kunene is a well-respected artist, and it would be an honor to hear his music and later create something fresh with him in a fusion of two very different cultures. There is a clear rhythm to Zulu music based on the same pentatonic tempo of most Southern African music. Madala has developed this into a musical style through which he delivers his message as a songwriter. I speak with him about what he is trying to share with the world.
Umyalezo wami engawusho iSouth Africa yonke. Inqondanise njengama-Afrika ngqo. Kufanele ukuthi bashintshe indlela abaphethe ngayo. Izwe abantu abaqophayo nabantu abadwebayo nabantu abadlala okhehle gumbi kufanele bahlonishwe ngoba iculture ifile. Leli culo bengilenza lapha eminyango mfowethu icule lithi kupho kwethu. Iculo leli engizama ukuthi abantu bebelalele bathi kupho kwethu kuphi yini lethu kupho kwethu iculture yethu isinyamalelo. Yabona umusic wesintu usufile manje kanti ubaluleke kakhulu entsheni ekhulayo. Intsha ekhulayo njengala mabhokisi lawo TV ahlale njalo siwabuka ekseni emini ntambama. Intsha umntwana okhulayo omncane ayikho into ayifundayo ngaphandle ukufunda into thina abadala saziyo esibona ukuthi umculo wesintu ufile uphelile. Ngakho ke mina njengoba ngiwenza nje ngizama ngayo yonke indlela ukuthi ngisho noma ungalalelwa ngelinye ilanga ngiyolalela. Ngakho ke mengase kushintshe indlela okuphethwe ngayo sicatshangelwe thina ama-artist ngoba abantwana abakhulayo ayikho into abazoyifunda. Amakhulu eminyaka akuphowe awasho naphowe.
Madala has managed to marry the contemporary while keeping the integrity of core Zulu rhythms. Again, it is the incomplete and complete rhythms found within African music that is being expressed here. I think that there is definitely space for a musical crossover with Madala. Right, Madala, now that we've spoken so much about music, let us jam.
Aya sikwele phezu kwayo bafake enye into bami into yakho ngibambe yami.
Yeah, just keep playing in that key, Baba. We begin to jam together, my kora, his guitar, and both our voices.
Iginqi zikhuluma ngokuthi akubuye okwethu emasikweni akubuye yonke into amasiko ethu abuyele emuva. Ngizama ukuthi unomkhulwane kufanele ukuthi njalo sihlale sazi ukuthi ukhona ngoba uyena uyinkosi yethu. Ukuthi modlala mengidlala le guitar ngiyidlala ngothando lami lonke ngoba iyangiphilisa and noma ngabe khona into engixakile mengathatha yona ngayidlala yedlula yonke leyo nto enkinga yami ngaphakathi. Manje ke ngikuthanda njengoba ngiyithanda mina. Ayikho futhi enye into engale ngoba mengase lesiginqi engasilali ngeke ngiphile ba. Ungawakhohlwa amasiko akho ulahlekile wokhohlwa kwakho ulahlekile wokhohlwa kwakho ukhonzo wesizwe. Ngiyangifika leyo nto ukuthi yabona lento engiyifundayo ngiyafisa ukuthi ngingaba nendawo engafundisa abantwana abancane abafisa ukudlala igitara ukuthi badlale lento engidlala ngoba lento engidlalayo angazi mhlawumbe yadlala omunye umhlaba omkhulu kodwa ubumncane futhi kodwa akekho ngangamuzwa udlala ngalendlela engidlala ngayo igitara. Manje ukuthi uma ngidlala le gitara ayingijabulisa ngaphakathi ngingifisa sengathi ngisho abantu abami engibazalayo kube khona engimfundisayo manje akekho othandayo ukufunda kunjenje sesakhohlwa amasiko ethu.
From here, I returned to Joburg to explore a hidden synagogue in a Jewish neighborhood and meet a Hassidic band. Johannesburg has many different types of communities, and behind me is a typical northern suburb where many Jews live. Jews often congregate around their synagogues, which serves as a core of their community. But today, I'm going to visit a small hidden synagogue which has a very special feel to it. I meet Tzemach Mandelo at the Baal Shem Tov Shul, a distinctive small synagogue in a Sydenham cul-de-sac. I've heard that Tzemach is a deep well of knowledge on Jewish traditions and Torah, or the Old Testament. I look forward to learning from him. The Jews of South Africa, although a relatively small but influential community, have kept their members close over the decades. One of the reasons for this is that their daily, weekly, and annual prayers require at least 10 men to pray together. Often, since they need to be in walking distance from the synagogue, Jews live in the same neighborhoods. This serves as a bedrock for their community. Tzemach, we're here in the show this morning. I see all these beautiful things. It looks so mystical, it almost gives you a holy feeling. What's going on here? Take me through this whole journey of this special place.
Pops, first of all, let me put it to you this way. The first way of getting to know this place is the way you've done it. You stop, you take a deep breath, and you just take it in your senses. So the first thing you've got to do in this shul to do it properly, and you're very good at that, is sit and just be. Then, as you sit here, different things come into sight. There are these beautiful different spiritual quotations. You'll see that most of it is done in stone. There's a very remarkable young rabbi who actually built this shul with his own hands. A very talented man, a very spiritual man. And he did most of it with rocks. And the reason for that is, at the end of the day, in every tradition, rocks is the symbol, the bedrock of our faith.
Right.
In Christian tradition, it talks about build on a rock.
Right.
In the Jewish tradition, it talks of God as the rock of Israel. The rock is the place where there's no big deals about us. There's an integrity, that's where we're solid. Then you have this image of a gate, where our prayers go forward, and the same thing with this holy ark over there, which when it's opening, it symbolizes our prayers going through the gate. Now, all Jewish places of worship face Jerusalem. So here in South Africa, that ark faces north because Jerusalem is in the north.
Similar to the Muslim religion,
Yes.
the mosques face a certain direction to Mecca,
Yes.
which makes you think why South Africa is such a special place. We see people from all parts of the world, religions, coming to South Africa. So I want to know from you, how did the Jewish people end up in South Africa?
Interestingly enough, the first recorded Jew in South Africa was a man called Adam Tas, who lived at the time of Simon van der Stel, which was probably in the 1660s. And he was the first political prisoner in this country. And he was locked up in the castle. And interestingly, he was a Dutch Jew. I don't know that he was that observant of the traditions, but it's recorded that he's a Dutch Jew, and that would be when the first Jews came.
Right.
Chances are that the Portuguese who came here, they were the first, Vasco da Gama and Bartholomew Dias, probably had Jewish navigators.
Right.
It was considered a Jewish profession in those times.
Right. Yeah.
So we're probably as long as there were white people in South Africa.
Right.
But the main immigration of Jews came in the late 1880s and more after the Boer War in the 1900s. There was a tremendous persecution of Jews going on in Tsarist Russia.
Right.
And South Africa needed talent, skilled people, and the gates of South Africa were opened to Jews fleeing there.
Right.
And that's where most of the Jews in this community, their ancestors, came to this country.
I meet Ray Perkel, a much-loved musician in the Jewish community, and hear some Hassidic melodies.
Pops, I listened to your music last night for the first time.
Thank you.
It took me to the most godly and expanded and spiritual places.
And I'm sure the music that I'll be listening to from the shul here
Yes.
will be just as special.
Semach introduces me to Ray Perkel, a loved musician in the Jewish community. Ray and his band offered to perform some traditional Hasidic music for me. A Nigun often uses a scale called the Jewish mode, based on a different group of notes to the standard scales. A Nigun is repeated many times, the idea being to receive a spiritual injection as the music continues. Jewish music has a very emotive quality. This one inspires a contemplative mood, the focus being about looking inward, a sense of connecting to the One.
There's a very particular aspect of Jewish music which for me is the deepest aspect. There are various kinds of Jewish music. There's music that is played at weddings for dancing. There's music that is part of the liturgy that we pray with words. But there's a unique aspect of Jewish music, a genre which is called in Hebrew nigun. And not always, but the majority of nigun is song without words. In the Hasidic tradition, the successor of the Baal Shem Tov, who was the originator of the Hasidic movement, who began to introduce the joy and the deeper soul side of Judaism. So that particular rabbi was called Rabbi Shnoya Zalman of Liadi. And he said a beautiful thing. He said that if words are the pen of the heart, then music is the pen of the soul. But there's a difference between the ways in which they work. The pen of the heart inscribes upon the heart the wisdom and the depth of revelation from the deepest places in divinity. God gives us word, and the word impacts upon us and we feel it in our hearts. The pen of the soul, which is music, works the other way. It carries the soul upwards into the embrace of God. Pop song and music have always been a very primal part of Jewish spirituality. When redemption came, our exodus from Egypt and slavery, which is obviously a symbol for the liberation of the human soul in universal terms, but for our nation, when we got that freedom and we stood at the edge of the sea, and all threat of future imprisonment was gone, a spontaneous song burst forth, led by Moses, our spiritual leader of the time. One of the so-called minor Hebrew prophets who lived well over 2,000 years ago said a lot of amazing things about times to come. And for me, one of the most profound statements that he made, I'll say it in Hebrew and I'll translate it for you. He said, Ki oz efoich el amim sofa vrura likroi kulam b'shem Hashem ula'avdoi b'shem echad. Now what that means is that in the time to come, when the Messianic era arrives, God is telling the human race that I will evolve all the nations of the world a clear language so that everyone can call God's name together and serve Him with one purpose. So the question obviously is, what is that language? And I've thought long and hard about it, because is it English, is it Hebrew? We all have our own cultures and our own backgrounds. And it became very clear to me that this language that the prophet talks about is the language of music.
This one is full of joy and happiness, and it makes me want to dance.
In the age of the prophets, it's said that when the prophets would seek to deliver prophecy, they would first need to divest themselves of their clothing. Now, clothing is a metaphor for their limited thoughts and feelings on a human level, so that if they divest themselves of those limitations, which we talk metaphorically about as clothes, then they would be free to channel the prophecy from the divine spirit that sought to express itself through them. And one of the ways they enable themselves to become that kind of channel of expression was with music.
Anticipate an interesting fusion of both light and dark moods with Ray's group. They all seem to be experienced, skilled musicians.
enters in the space. And that space, of course, is our souls. On this wall, it says almost the exact same thing in this Hebrew writing in the script over there. What does it say? It says from God only comes good. And it's a pure light, a pure space, and according to the way you receive it, so that light gets colored. This is a place where you come and receive that light. We have ancient melodies that are chanted and sang here every single day,
Right.
especially on the Friday night
Right.
and the Saturday morning, but every day there is singing, and especially in this shul, it's called the Baal Shem Tov shul.
Right.
And the Baal Shem Tov was a prophet who came just over 300 years ago, and he taught the importance of joy, of spontaneity. And he said there's something even holier than the Torah, and that is the soul of a good human being.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And it's about soul expression.
I like that.
We are a people of fusion. We fuse our ancestry and we fuse the present. We are a people which strongly believes in engaging all mankind, sharing the same spirit. We actually have a law that you're not allowed to forcibly convert a person to Judaism. You don't even encourage people to become Jewish, because our view is that every religion has its own specialness and validity. And the art of getting it right as human beings is to get all the religions to work just very much in the same way as the different musical instruments make up an orchestra.
Love for the future. Because I believe that love is more needed today than ever. We sing about love for the unborn babies of tomorrow. For they are the future. They are the ones who will be leading us into this millennium. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
In the creation story, it talks about a man called Yuval, who was the inventor of the harp. And so as long as there's been mankind, there's been music.
We sing and sing for love. We sing for peace. We sing for the nation. We sing peace to Burundi, the DRC. Peace.
There has never, whether it be the Jewish tradition or any other tradition, been any kind of spiritual involvement without music playing a central and crucial role. The prophets, who in order to reach a state of prophecy, part and parcel of their working on themselves to get to that state was an involvement with music.
We sing, brothers and sisters. We sing for love. We sing and sing for joy. We say peace, love, and we send our gratitude and our love to the Nelson Mandelas, the Dalai Lamas, the future leaders, and most of all to the people of our country who we so love. We sing and sing. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Everybody sing for joy and love. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. We sing and sing and sing. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Love. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. We sing and sing. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
Bringing together Jewish and Zulu music will likely be challenging, but I feel that there are layers of rhythm and melody that will work beautifully together. The music of the Zulu community and the Jewish share a contemporary base. Both are reaching within their traditions and making their melodies accessible to a modern audience, but being richly inspired by the rhythms and chants provided by the Sangoma and the deeper invocations of the Jewish nigunum. I think we'll be making wonderful music.
words are the pen of the heart, then music is the pen of the soul.
Music colors in the space, and that space, of course, is our souls. It's about soul expression. It's about soul expression. It's about soul expression.
Ngizama ukuthi unomkhulwana kufanele ukuthi njalo sihlale sazi ukuthi ukhona ngoba uyena oyinkosi yethu.
There's no way in which the spirits of man can soar without music.
Okoto wako ukozo wezi